Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. So let's make a bread pudding for two. You ever just get, when it's just you and your husband, or maybe it's just you by yourself, and you get so hungry for these old-fashioned recipes, but all the recipes are always, making quite a bit, and it's more than you can eat. And a lot of people like putting it up for leftovers in the freezer and stuff like that. But sometimes there's just some you just don't want to put in the freezer. And for me, bread pudding is one of them. I've got 2 8-ounce ramekins here, and we're going to make some bread pudding for 2. Or if you're just one, you can eat one now and eat one tomorrow for breakfast or something like that. Be really good. So I just took my ramekins and I just buttered them good. And what I need to do is, I need to separate what I've got here. This is some leftover brioche, but you can use any kind of bread that you have in the house. I remember when Grandma made bread pudding, it was with biscuits or just anything that we had left over, especially the bread and biscuits that were starting to go stale. Now, there was hardly any biscuits that ever went stale, that's for sure, because we'd eat them things up all the time. But this is a little bit of brioche, and brioche makes really good bread pudding. And I may have cut too much up. 3 or 4 slices of bread. Start with 3. And if that's not enough to fill both of your ramekins up, then you can do 4. Well, really and truly, this is just a pretty good amount right there. So you see I just filled them up like that. So you want to divide your bread. Now this calls for raisins, and Mr. Brown he doesn't really care for raisins, y'all. But I do have some craisins, and y'all have seen me use these craisins in different recipes, and that's what I like too. I'm not real big on raisins. And these are big. Look how big those are. So I'm just going to put a few. I'm not going to put a whole lot. But if you're going to use raisins, just use like 2 tablespoons, a tablespoon to each little ramekin. In fact, I think I'll leave it out of his. I just really don't think he's going to want any craisins either. But I really love them. In my bowl right here, I've got 1 egg. I've got 5 ounces of evaporated milk. And we're just going to mix all this up. I may not have got a big enough bowl, y'all. Y'all know I'm really good about that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my measuring cup. It's bigger, plus I'll be able to pour it a lot easier. I didn't think about that. I'm just always just a grabbing and a going. So that was 1 egg and 5 ounces of evaporated milk. If you don't have evaporated milk, you can use just regular milk. And we need some water. We need about 3 tablespoons of water. And mix that in there. We need 2 tablespoons of sugar. You can use, I mean, at this point, I don't think it matters. But if you do not want to use regular sugar, you can use a sugar substitute. You can also use brown sugar in this if you want to. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of sugar, more or less. I'm going to put some cinnamon. You put as much cinnamon as you want. Danny does like cinnamon. That's 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to stir this up and see what it looks like. Now you can also put some walnuts or pecans in this, and I'm shaking y'all around, ain't I? That's just up to you. Whatever you know y'all like, put in it. I was just looking up and my camera was shaking. That's why I said that. I might put just a little bit more cinnamon in it because I know that he really likes cinnamon. And I've got my oven preheating to 350. Now it also calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and I will have this recipe. I'll probably have it right here beside my head, and I'll have it down in my information too. But 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg in it. Y'all have followed me long enough. Y'all know that we don't like nutmeg. A lot of y'all do, so put 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg in if you want to. So we got 3 to 4 slices of bread cubed, 2 tablespoons of raisins, and that's optional. We got 1 egg, 5 ounces of evaporated milk, 3 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/4 a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 a teaspoon of nutmeg if you want it. Now this recipe does not call for vanilla, but whenever I make bread pudding, I always put some kind of vanilla. I had my maple extract out, but I'm just not feeling the maple today. So I'm just going to use some of my homemade vanilla. And I don't want a whole lot. So I'm just going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Because the brioche is already a kind of a sweet bread. So that's all there is to it. And you just want to pour this back and forth evenly over your ramekins. And you can make this the day ahead if you want to. And then make it in the morning for your breakfast. Just get it mixed up and put it in the refrigerator till you're ready to bake it the next morning. If you don't have any ramekins, you can also do this in a small baking dish. So I'm just going to push it down like this. And then what I'm going to do is I always have this container with cinnamon and sugar in it. I'm going to put some on the top. And that will kind of give it a crunchy cinnamon top to it when it bakes. So it's about that easy. If you got more than 2 that you're wanting to feed, double this recipe and just put it in probably just a small little dish. It don't have to be very big. And because this right here, this is these are 8-ounce ramekins. So you can go by that on maybe what size dish you need for doing 2, or if you want to double it and make it for maybe, you know, a couple more people. Maybe you're having a dinner and you need something just really nice like a bread pudding, but not a big one. And you can make this up. Oh, that'd be so nice too. So if you've got 4 ramekins, that would make such a nice dessert if you've got a couple people coming over to eat with you. So anyways, my oven's preheating 350. We'll put this in there and I'll check it probably in about 20 minutes. I'm going to check it The recipe says anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes, but I have a propane oven, a gas oven, and it seems to cook quicker than electric ovens. So I always like to check it at least by 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll see how good our bread pudding looks. And when you check it, all you got to do is just stick like a regular knife in there or something, and if it comes out clean, you know that it's done. It'll be kind of brown on top too. So there's our bread pudding for two. Let's get them in the oven. So I think that some of y'all have noticed that I finally got my window put in. Now this was a solid wall right here, and there just wasn't much light that come in here in this part of the kitchen, my little kitchen and little dining room. So we hired somebody, and they come in, and within just a couple hours they had the window put in. And I can't tell you how happy it makes me. It just really brings a lot of light in here, y'all. I know from that angle what you're seeing is the carport, but I'm telling you, I'll bring you around and I'm going to show you what I see when I'm working here making biscuits or bread or bread pudding or just whatever. And there's a really pretty view of my cottage garden. I can see plumb down to the pond just standing here. I can see the hill and all the woods that go up the hill, through the holler and up to the main road. I can see all that. And the trees are still not got a lot of leaves on them, so I can see a long ways. But I can see, when all the flowers start blooming and everything just looks so lush and beautiful. I can look out here. And like I said, I can see my cottage garden from here. But the main thing was bringing more light into here, so I absolutely love it. So y'all can see I still haven't got my cabinet painted. But believe me, y'all, it's probably going to be a couple more weeks before I ever get to it. I've got several places that I'm having to go. Over the weekends I'll be gone and just busy all through the week. And plus, gardening has started and so much going on out in the garden. But you can see right here, this is standing, from the main part of my kitchen. And that is the view I have, except for the downspout. The water goes. We do reserve a lot of water here. So whenever it's raining, we make sure that we can get plenty of rainwater. But this is what I see looking out. And I can see my cottage garden. I can see the pond. The camera really doesn't do it any justice, really. And then I can see way down across the pond. Whoops. So I do have a nice view when I'm standing here just doing everyday chores that I do every day. I can see if somebody's coming up the main road. Of course, this is our drive, and it goes down the hill and back up the hill before you hit the main gravel road. But anyways, I love this window. If you've never been proud of a window, it's a luxury for me because I had to have light. My mind and my body has to have lots of light. And during winter time, I have a really, really hard time. So, and it's a pretty window. It doesn't open up, which is fine because I didn't need one on this side that opened up. I got plenty, the sunroom, everything opens from the sunroom, and I can open up and fresh air come through here. Windows are not cheap, I can tell you. Pretty expensive. But we wanted one that would be a good window and wouldn't have any cold air drafts that come through it. And I'm just trying to give you an idea of where I'm at, and that's the window that finally got put in. And I can stand back here at the sink, and I can see way out there. Like I said, it's not doing any justice. Y'all seeing it through the camera, but I can see. Standing here at the sink and turn around, I can still see way down there. So, I'm trying to zoom y'all back out. I'm sorry, y'all. So, yay! Finally got my picture window put in. And you can see how much light it brings in already. And it's late in the afternoon right now. That's not even the morning sun. Okay. Our bread pudding for 2 is out of the oven. I checked it after 20 minutes and it wasn't done enough. So I put it for 30 minutes. 30 minutes I checked it and it still needed about 3 to 4 more minutes. So altogether it's about 34 minutes. And it's going to differ in everybody's oven. So what you need to do is to let it set up too. But when your knife goes in clean, now it's going to have a little sticky on it, of course. But it should come out pretty clean. But when you let it set a little while, it's still going to keep setting up, and it'll be good and done, but won't be overcooked. So there is our bread pudding for 2. And they look really pretty too, y'all. I'm going to try one here in a minute. Mr. Brown, of course, y'all know, is still taking care of his mother. And they had a big, they had something they had to really do today too that was a big ordeal. Him and his brother and their nephew and I don't know how many people. Danny's mom and dad, when they lived in an old farmhouse for years. And Danny did too. In fact, I think it was his sophomore year that they got to finally build a house. And it wasn't no big house, it wasn't no fancy house, but it was nice to his mama because it was probably the first brand new house she ever had. Anyways, and that's the house that she's still in as of today. But anyways, they put in a huge wood furnace and had a furnace room just outside the kitchen. So you could open the door from the kitchen and just walk down to the furnace room, which is where her big deep freeze and her washer and dryer was. And then the big furnace, which you could bring wood in from the outside, big pieces of wood, and fill the furnace up. Pretty big furnace. Anyways, it's not working anymore, I guess. And they're having to figure out, you know, something different. Because for several years now, you know, Danny's dad's been gone, I think about 16 years now. And she's had to deal with different kind of heat, which is one of them wall propane heaters. And I think she's got a little bit of electric heat, but they're having to put in a new system because I don't think that it's working right or something. Anyways, they're taking the old furnace out, and I think they're going to put in a new heating and air system. So they're doing that today too. Plus he stays the night with her, and he won't be home until probably about noon tomorrow. But I did fix him some supper, and I'll show you what I fixed him this time to take over there and eat. But anyways, I'll put his bread pudding in the refrigerator tonight, and tomorrow he can come in and just heat it up. And he does love old-fashioned bread pudding. But I'm going to taste mine here in just a little bit. I need to go work out in the garden, so I may save it till I get back in and get cleaned up. It has turned back off a little bit cool. It was up in the 90s the day for yesterday. Today it was up in the 60s, so it's kind of cool at night. But my spinach and cabbage and stuff like that's really liking this cooler weather. So I'm going to go out there. I've got some Swiss chard that I started from seed, and I need to get it in my raised bed. So I'm slowly taking everything, you know, my plants that I started, and I'm slowly taking them out to the cottage garden. My tomatoes that I started, I just took them out of the, you know, the little containers, and I'm just putting them in the bigger ones and leaving them in. I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse till it's time to put them out. My sweet peas, they just went crazy, so I got to get them out too. They're up about, some of them 6 inches. Some of them's about 4, 5, and 6 inches, so they've got to go out because I got my trellis put up for them to climb, my sweet peas, green peas, so they're ready to go. So every day I'm just going to work just a little bit on, you know, sometimes I'll get out there and try to get it all done at once, and I just can't do that anymore. So I'm teaching myself to pace myself and just do a little bit at a time. But I did manage today to get Danny and his mom and probably his brother or whoever some supper cooked. And but I've got something at the end of the video that I want to share with y'all. I think that y'all are really going to love it. I loved it, and so y'all stick around. But it was just, you know, I told y'all I'd be gone this last weekend, and my daughter, her little daughter, which is Avery, excuse me, Avery Jo. Y'all have seen Avery Jo in some of my videos, and y'all hear me talk about her, but she loves mermaids. And her mom found that in Springfield, Missouri, at the Bass Pro, they have, of course, the big, huge aquarium and museum, the Wildlife Museum. and I've taken y'all there with me before, because I've had a couple of videos where I took y'all with me when I went through the museum and aquarium. But anyway, she found out that there's certain dates, and I think this following weekend may be the last weekend, but they had mermaids there. And the ladies were dressed up, and they looked just like mermaids, y'all. The fishtail, their hair, I mean everything. They looked like a true mermaid. And to even me, at 62 years old, I really enjoyed it. You know, I can remember, I don't know at the age of 10 if I really thought about mermaids. I really don't. But I know I've watched my children, my grandkids watch, you know, different cartoons and stuff with mermaids and different Disney movies and stuff. And, but yeah, I mean, most little girls love the thought of mermaids, and some of me want to be a mermaid. But at the end of the video, I did take some video, and I want y'all to see it because it is so neat, y'all. I just loved it. But anyways, I'm going to taste my bread pudding, and then I'm going to go out to the garden. I'm not going to eat it. I'm just going to taste it. I want to show y'all too. You know, some of y'all started your sweet potato slips the same time I did. And I was starting to get pretty discouraged because nothing was happening. But I do know that it does take a while, y'all. It takes a while sometimes for them slips to really start coming up. But finally, and I'll show y'all in a minute, and maybe y'all can comment and say, y'all's that started the same time I did, y'all, and tell me how y'all's are doing. Okay. Let me take a picture of this first, and then I'll come back and I'll try it. Okay, let's try this bread pudding. Woo! Hot. Now, what would really be good on this too is some whipped topping. But I didn't make any because I knew that I'd eat it if I did. So I had to be careful, y'all. Feels like it has set up really good. Do y'all like bread pudding, the old-fashioned bread pudding? And like I said, you can put nuts and just, anything like that in it. Oh, hot. Always comes out good, y'all. It's not too overly sweet. So that's just the right amount of sugar. And I do think that it does need vanilla in it. To me, it does. But this is really delicious. Y'all will really like it. So, all of y'all that like my cooking for two, I hope y'all try it because y'all really like it. And if you want to, like I said, you can even drizzle, make you a little bit of glaze to put on top. Maybe a little rum glaze or something like that. Or a vanilla, just a small amount. Or make you put some whipped topping on it. But either way, it's delicious. It's moist, but it's got a crunchy top on it. So, I said I wasn't going to stand here and eat it. Because I need to go to the garden. So I'm not. I'm going to put it down, y'all. So, I'm going to go to the garden and get some things done. And at the end of the video, like I said, I'm going to show y'all the mermaids. And then I'll probably leave y'all with that. So, please stay and please watch it because I know you'll really enjoy it. I'll be gone again this weekend. I'm going to Branson, Missouri for a Christian woman's retreat that they have every year at this time. It's called Sparks. And I just love going. And I think before next year, I'm going to try to put some information up about it for any of y'all that might be interested in going too. Because it's something, once they put it out there, you really have to get your tickets bought and stuff. And what the tickets are bought for is because what they do is they want groups of people. Like I'm going with 2 of my friends, so that's 3. And we'll be sharing a cabin. And it'll have 2 queen-size beds in it. So that money that you pay goes to these cabins that you'll be staying in. And for the food and all the other stuff that, that costs money. So it does, that's what all this money goes to help put on this Christian woman's retreat. And I loved it so much last year, and I went with both my daughters last year. But they're not able to go this year, so I'm going with 2 of my good friends, and I'm looking so forward to it, y'all. But like I said, before next year, and when I know that they're fixing, they're going to start again, and you got to put your name in, and, but like I said, buy the tickets because they do get booked up. I will make sure that I put all that information out for anybody that wants to go. I know most of y'all live a long ways away, but maybe there's some of y'all that live in Missouri, Arkansas, or anywhere close that you would travel to go to it because it's well worth it. But I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to, first I want to show you what I made for Danny to take to his mom's to eat. And then I'm going to show you the mermaids. But I'm going to tell you bye for now. Because I've got to get outside, y'all, and I got to get some stuff done before it gets dark. And I hope y'all have a beautiful rest of the week. I may try to do some kind of a little video before I leave out this weekend. Just to say hi and bye till next week. And next week looks like it's going to be busy too. This is a very busy time of the year. Y'all know that. There's so much going on. But anyways, y'all just remember how much me and Mr. Brown love y'all. And Mr. Brown will be back, y'all. He will be back. Y'all just know that he's just, busy right now, taking care of family. And, family always comes first. So, we'll see y'all in a few days. And we love y'all. But most of all, God loves you. And He'll never forsake you. So bye-bye for now, and we'll see y'all in a few days. I'm going to be making Danny and his mom a white bean soup with some cornbread. And this is just about 3 cups of dry beans that I soaked overnight. And I'm going to pressure cook them. So I got my Instant Pot going. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of oil, my avocado oil. I've got 1 carrot, a small celery stalk, and about half an onion. I'm going to saute it for just about 5 minutes just till the onion's a little bit tender. So only about 5 minutes worth. And I'm going to pour my beans, my soaked beans, and I rinsed them. I'm going to pour them in here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some chicken stock, about 8 cups of chicken stock. I like a lot of juice, especially when you're going to be eating cornbread with it. I'm going to be adding some diced up ham with this too. I've got some diced up ham that I got from Walmart a while back. It's been in the freezer. I'm going to use that. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of black pepper, teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika and a bunch of bay leaves. Bay leaf give beans a really good taste. Okay, you can see how it's got a lot of juice in it. And that's the way we like it because, you know, when you put that cornbread in there with that juice, it's going to soak up that juice. So you just want to have plenty of it in there. But even at that, I still like to take either my meat masher here or a potato masher. And I do this with my pinto beans too sometimes. And just kind of go through there and break them up a little bit. And if you want to, a lot of times when I'm cooking my beans on the stove, I'll do this and continue cooking them till the juice gets a little bit creamier. Or you can even put this back in the Instant Pot for about 5 more minutes. But the beans are really tender. The broth in this is just excellent, and it doesn't need any kind of salt in it. So I'm going to make up a pan of cornbread. And Danny can take this to his mom's. And she can have some white bean soup and cornbread. He'll have some for supper too. And his brother may even be there. Sometimes he stops by around supper time. But he'll be there because I think they're really going to be busy today at his mama's house. So I'll send a big bowl, a big container of this. I may just send the whole thing. Just get me out a bowl. But I'm going to make some cornbread real quick to go with it. Okay, let's make a little pan of cornbread. I'm using Aunt Jemima self-rising cornmeal mix. And this has everything in it that you need. It has cornmeal, it has the flour, it has the baking powder, the salt, it has it all. So I'm adding 2 cups. And this scoop right here is a half a cup scoop. I've got my skillet over there on top of my stove on a burner, and I've got it heating up. Now, optional is a little bit of sugar. Usually I don't put sugar in the cornbread. Danny don't care for it, but his mama does, so I'm just going to put just a little bit, not to make it real sweet. So that's all your dry ingredients that you need in it when you're using a self-rising cornmeal mix. See, I need 1 egg. Chickens have really been laying a lot here lately since the weather has started to warm up a little bit. I need about 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using avocado oil. And you need about 1 1/3 cup of buttermilk or just regular sweet milk, whichever you got. Danny and I both like a thinner, crispier cornbread. We don't like our cornbread real thick. I know a lot of people do. We don't. I mean, we'll eat it that way, but we prefer it kind of thin and crispy. That's why we love fried cornbread, because it's thin and it's crispy, fried in that oil on top of the stove. Some people like their cornbread like a cake consistency, and we really don't. And like I said, it's not that we wouldn't eat it that way. It's just not how we prefer it here. And I just about knocked over that buttermilk. I'm going to put just a little bit more. But the recipe does call for 1 1/3 cup. Sometimes it's a little different from day to day. So what I like to do is once I get my cornmeal and stuff, when I get this mixed up, I like to let it sit just a little while before I put it in my pan. So that's just about right. So I'm going to get my skillet heated up and we'll get our batter in there. Okay, I've got a little bit of oil in here and about a tablespoon of butter. And when I move that around, I can hear it sizzling. Sometimes I even leave it till the butter kind of browns. But if I stick my hand there and I can't leave it there very long, then it's time to put that cornbread in there. I mean the batter. I'm going to stick this in my oven 425. And it shouldn't take no more than 20 minutes for it to cook. But this is how you can get a good crispy bottom on your cornbread. Okay, here's the sweet potatoes that was planted in the soil. You can see I've got several coming up here. I see one here, and I'm going to say that in a couple days or so, there's going to be more filling out right there. I see one here, but I don't see any more. But that don't mean that they're not going to go ahead and come up. It takes a while for slips to make. So it's not that this is a bust yet. We'll just have to give it a couple more weeks and see what else comes up. But the thing of it is, you have to keep this moist. You have to keep it moist. Don't let it dry out. So that's where I'm at. So y'all that started this same time I did, do y'all have slips yet? And if you do you have a lot more than I do? Let me know. It could be the kind of potato it is. It comes straight from the garden. It wasn't store-bought. So sometimes they do good. Sometimes they don't do as good as the year before. You never know. But in a couple of weeks we'll know. Okay, here's the sweet potato in the jar. You can see the roots that have already established from that sweet potato. But this is all the slips I've got so far. And there could be more to come on out. Maybe not. I usually have a lot of good luck when I do slips this way. But this year it may be a bust. The one in the water, in the mason jar, you never know. But we'll see in a couple of weeks how this one does too. So I got this tray of sweet peas. And you can see that every one that I planted in here has come up. And these are the ones that I've got to get out in the garden and get them planted. There's a bunch of them. I think these are called Cascadian sweet peas. They'll be good. So if you watch very closely, they're taking the blue mermaid up with the help of a scuba diver. And then the pink mermaid will make her way down. So I guess they were taking turns. And the scuba diver had to make sure that they were getting the proper oxygen that they needed. It just amazed me. And all the fish just act like, nothing was going on. Didn't pay them no mind. But then the pink mermaid just kind of eases her way down. It's just amazing sometimes. But you can imagine all the little girls seeing their first mermaids.